Good evening, sir.
Hey, sir.
Good evening,
Good
sir.
evening, sir.
Evening, sir.
Perfect. Good to see each one of you after a long time. Hope you guys are doing well. Good morning, everyone. And
Good morning, sir.
Good morning,
perfect.
sir.
Now,
Good morning, sir.
this is something that I was waiting for. All right. However, your paper was, who cares? You've written it. Leave it. All right. Good, great. Bad, still great. Something that you can't change. Let's not talk about it. Why I had to make this statement is most of you, even before I begin, started your conversation about Yengitto, how was it, Kaisa tha, and all of that. Relax. All right, being Shetty is a student, you know the statement also which you're going to hear from the other person. So let's not break our head or a card. Now, having said that, Pradeep, you don't have to worry. However good, bad it was, ignore. All right. If it was good, you don't have to worry. If it was bad, you still don't have to worry because there are many people out here who are still having a smile with the fact that they know how they have performed. Now, what we do, something that you cannot change, let's not think about it. Let's spend 1 hour, quality 1 hour, on how you will be approaching your paper called company law. All right. First thing, all right, this session is nothing new. The whole objective of this session is just to ensure that we catch up, and somewhere that psychological comfort is there, seeing that person who is yelled at the top of his voice early in the morning to come show his face and yell once again so that somehow you will see through. Right? Not because of me, because of your own efforts. I have nothing to do in your efforts. It's your efforts. You have done that. All right. Now, 1 hour we spent just to bring in those quite important small things which can make a lot of difference. All right. I call them more like a gentle reminder. You might have seen these points earlier. You might have come across. I'm sure these are not nothing new. I call it as gentle reminder itself because we have discussed this somewhere or the other. We are also going to focus on a couple of important things from your examination perspective, which you might have to emphasize in the next 24 hours. All right. Can we begin? Yes? No?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir. Right. Let's get started, friends. So, refresh to relax, something that really means corporate and other allied law. Let's get started. If you see, I'm very clear. I call it as gentle reminder because I don't want to repeat myself. The whole point is very simple. This is something that we have discussed. There's nothing new that I'm going to mention. It is just to ensure that you are getting those quite quick reminders on the point. First thing, write in parts. All right. Cause unsaid, nobody is sitting here to read your paragraphs. All right. Neither you want to sit and read somebody else's paragraph. Reading that study material in itself is a task. You know it. Simplify the other person's life. All right. How do you do that? By writing in points. Simple way of approaching this, or what I personally follow in probably anything for that matter, if you were to ask me, is to ensure that I write one subtopic, all right, a sub bulletin point. Let's assume I'm talking about prospectus, all right. Now, don't get carried away seeing the word itself. Don't worry, all right. Now, let's assume it is prospectus. Now, I have to write first point. Write a subtopic. Start writing your answers based on. All right. Then you go to the second point. Write a subtopic. Give a title to it. Give a title to it, and then start writing. Why? In case if the other person is as lazy as you are, maybe reading the subtitle itself, you might be able to say it. All right, because you would have captured the keywords in your subtitle. Very obvious. Sir, what should I write? Because in the study material, they might not have given. It is nothing but the keyword which you might have come across in that point. As simple as that. Understood? Yes. So please write everything in pointers. Nobody wants to sit and read paragraphs. I hope I'm clear. All right. Next point. Best foot forward. All right. First 1.5 hour has to be only those questions which you know the best. All right. It should be more than enough to give you a comfort that you have cleared the paper. Out of 100 marks, let's assume I know only about 40 marks. I don't know the rest 60 marks. God forbid. All right. But let's assume this is the scenario. The first 1.5 hour that I write, I ensure that I clear the paper. The next 1.5 hour is to ensure that I push my marks towards distinction. I hope I'm clear, everyone. All right. Best foot forward. Sir, let's assume it's a scenario where you know 3A. All right. Brilliant. Get started with 3A. All right. Let's assume I know 3B. All right. Write your 3B. 3C, I know, but I'm not really certain about it. All right. Write 3C. Don't write the answer. Leave 1.5 pages, 2 pages. It's okay. Later on, we scratch it. All right. The whole point is to ensure that first 1.5 hour, if I know I have written for more than 40 marks, 50 marks, I know I have cleared the paper. Psychologically, I know I have cleared the paper. There's some amount of comfort which is there in my mind. Understanding, everyone? Yes. So this is my best foot forward. Out of 5 sub-questions, let's assume there are 5 questions, all right? Out of those, I know 3 questions extremely well. Write the first 3 questions. The rest 2 we'll see later. Out of these 3 questions also, I may know only 2 sub-questions. The third one I might not know in each of these. Write those 2 sub-questions first, all right? But the first question which you write has to be a question where you know it all right? As simple as that. Why? Because it creates an impression in the other person's mind also while he is correcting. Very obvious. Let's not forget the other person is human being. All right. The moment he corrects, he sees your question paper, he sees your answer. He has got a comfort in the first question itself that will be carried throughout your subsequent answers. Understanding, everyone? Yes. Next, sleep well. There's nothing that I can emphasize more here. I have myself narrated my own stories where I've done the blunder of sleeping for 3 hours, 4 hours, going and writing examination, coming out with an upset face that I was not able to complete paper. Don't do all these mistakes. It's good to learn from your mistake. Or rather, it's wise to learn from your mistake. It's wiser to learn from somebody else's mistake. All right. I would insist you to learn from my mistake. Don't please go ahead and sleep for 3 hours, 3.5 hours. That extra 5 minutes will sleep and read for 10 minutes extra. Don't do all that. You are ending up on compromising your entire 100 marks. As simple as that. I hope I'm clear, everyone. Sleep peacefully, 5 hours, 6 hours, whatever your requirement is. Next, don't compromise on your sleep. I cannot emphasize much more on this. All right. Next, write a page with the pen you intend to use in the examination. It might be stupid. Give it to your friend, give it to your sibling, give it to your parents, give them that pen. Ask them just to scribble one page. Why? The nib becomes smoother. All right. The nib becomes smoother. Does it make difference? 100% it does. It does, because you write with a new pen. All right. The first 10 seconds, there will be some discomfort. Why do you want to create that 10 seconds of discomfort? Somewhere all these things pile up and creates issue. We don't want any of these things. Next point, carry water and if possible, lemonade. Very simple. The amount of heat generated while writing answers is extremely high. All right, because your brains are operating at some another level altogether. Let's ensure it gets the fuel that it needs. At those point of time, you can't drink Red Bull, you can't drink fruity, you can't drink Mazza. Ensure that you at least carry water. All right, you carry lemonade if possible, helps. Science, later on, you Google. Next part. Dispose the question paper immediately after the exam. There's nothing that I want to emphasize much more here. Something that I used to personally do, tear the question paper in the examination hall. All right, Jai Mata Di, whatever has to happen will happen. Something which is not in my control after writing the examination, I don't want to carry it home as well. Because I know this will have a chain effect. All right, this will have a chain reaction on my other papers. I don't want to create havoc for myself. I hope I'm clear, everyone. All right, sir, somebody is going to feel bad. This goddess will feel bad. Nobody is going to feel bad. You just please respect your efforts at that point of time. I hope I'm clear, everyone. Am I audible?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Attitude matters. Go sunset. I still remember. All right. SFM paper, CA final examination, 100 marks. I just was able to write for first 1.5 hours. Why? Because of the blunder that I didn't sleep properly. In the first 1.5 hours, whatever I could write, I have written. Now, next 1.5 hours, I'm sleepy there. I'm drowsy. I can't open my eyes there. The only thing which I was pushing myself is, if you fail, you have to come back and write the same paper, which might not be easy. Why not just shut up and focus a little more, push yourself a little more? Somehow you will sail through. God's grace was able to sail through. That's not about me. That's about just the fact that we will have to push ourselves. In examination, not necessary that what you do in the next 24 hours will come in examination for sure. Maybe, may not be. If it comes, what else can you ask for? If it doesn't come, trust your efforts. Sit there. Sit there. All right. Spend that extra 30 seconds in just controlling, calming yourself and start putting in efforts. You will be able to recall because you've put in efforts. It's not that you'll be able to recall everything, but something somewhere you will be able to recall as long as you put in efforts. As simple as that. I hope I'm clear. Guys, I'm not going to be fake. I'm not going to say that you will be able to recall everything. 100% not. Something at least you will be able to recall and you'll be able to produce for. I hope I'm clear, everyone. Understanding? Yes. Next point. Read the questions carefully. You've seen during the sessions itself how a small mistake, all right, changes the entire answer to a particular question the way you attempt. All right. It's okay spending 10 seconds extra in reading the questions once again than spending another 6 months and reading the entire syllabus. I hope I'm pretty much clear here. All right. It's
Yes,
okay
sir.
spending the 10 seconds extra during the examination than spending 6 months in reading the syllabus again. Brutally honest here. Let's ensure that we don't miss out on our silly things which will cost us an attempt. I hope I'm clear, everyone. Darshita, there? You don't
Yes,
have to be
sir.
so serious, guys. You don't have to be serious. Had it been the first paper, I know there will be panic. Second paper and all, it is habit now. Writing examination should become habit. All right, so calm down, chillax. Next one, don't panic. Something that I've already mentioned. If you know it, what else can you ask for? If you don't know it, calm down, relax, breathe in, and you will be able to put in efforts. The moment you will be able to recall, the moment you just calm down a little. All right. Don't panic the moment you are not able to recall this point, that point. I'll tell you where the problem comes into picture. You might have created some mnemonic. All right. Classic example, you would created this BZ pass. Simple example. All right. Now, this BZ pass, I know there is something called as Boolean. I know there's a jewelry. Now, what if this other jet pass? Relax. Maybe that 1 or 2 points you will not be able to recall. It's okay. Write the rest. Afterwards, you can spend time in writing those 1 or 2 alphabets that you're not able to recall. All right, this is a problem. This is a problem with mnemonic, but can't help. This is how you'll be able to remember everything better. All right, next one. Don't assume that you will not know the answer even before reading the question. This is one of the biggest mistakes that we can do. Example, Nidhi Company. All right. Or second example, prospectus. The moment you see this prospectus, the moment you hear about public offer, you are into jitters. The moment you listen to the word charges, you are into jitters. The moment you hear about deposits, you are into jitters. It might be a simple question. Can a public company go ahead and raise deposits? If yes, how much? It could be a simple question. Can a private company raise deposits from don't get carried away. Audible? Audible?
Yes, sir.
Audible.
Now, but video stuck.
Am I audible? Right. Now is it better?
Sir, yes, sir, but video stuck. Okay, now.
All right. Last one. All right. In this slide, no wrong sections. Do not write wrong sections. I hope I'm clear, everyone. Sir, I don't know the section number. Let me create one. No, don't. Don't. All right. Let's make it simple. All right. I know with the subsection. Right with the subsection. As simple as that. All right. I know with the clause. Right with the clause. Brilliant. I don't know the clause. I know the subsection. Right with the subsection. I don't know the subsection. I know the section. Right with the section. I don't even know the section. Write the name of the act. I don't know the name of the act. Right as per the provision of law. Don't write incorrect sections and come back home. All right. If the evaluator is finicky about section numbers, he is going to be extremely brutal and scratch your answers. Let's not do something which can annoy anybody for that matter. All right. Very obvious. If you know the section number, great. Please quote. As far as possible, please make an attempt of writing section numbers. I'm not asking you not to write. I'm asking you not to write wrong sections. That's the whole point. I hope I'm clear, everyone. Understood? Yes. Next one. Don't watch others in the examination hall. Guys, I really don't want to tell you all this. You will find somebody who's taken an additional sheet, and here you are not even able to fill the half of the booklet. It's okay. That guy might be leaving 10, 15 pages in between for writing one paragraph. Why do you want to get carried away? Why do you want to get carried away? Don't get carried away. I know these things might be lame, funny right now. It has some impact. All right. And what you see on screen is more like I've written a student's thought, because I still write examinations. All right. And this often comes in examinations. Next, time for 4 marks and 2 marks can't be the same. Very obvious. All right. Just because they've asked about small company and it is a 2-marker, you don't have to write the entire history of small company. I hope you understand the amount of time which you spend for a 4-marker cannot be same as much as you spend for 2 marks. Because for 2 marks, even if you write 4 pages, you will still get only 2 marks. It's not that the other person is going to be generous in giving you extra 4 marks. I hope you understand. I hope you understand. All right. Balance it out. Balance it out. Sir, in that case, how much should we write? 4-marker if the question is, and if there is a specific provision which they are asking. All right. Please ensure that you write the provision as is, as far as possible. How much should it be, sir? A 4-marker could have easily 6 to 7 pointers. All right. Brief to the point pointers. Straight to the fact, straight to the provision of law pointers. I hope I'm clear. A 2-marker, as far as possible, write 4 points. That should be good. Now, sir, what should be the size of each point? What should I write in the point? That depends on the question. All right. I hope I'm clear. Understanding? Yashaswini? Lipika there?
Yes, sir.
Relationship for marks and length, something that I've already explained. Try different presentation formats, tables, charts, and underlining. It is absolutely acceptable if you can write in tables. It is absolutely acceptable if you write in charts. Being Shetty sir students, there's no second thought if you will not be able to write in charts, because we have learned anything and everything in charts. I hope I'm clear. Every underline. Am I audible?
Yes, sir.
Yes.
sir.
All right. Third thing, underlining. Guys, neither you have so much time in reading what you've written. How on earth do you expect the other person to sit and read your theory paper, which you would have written 30, 40 pages? All right. Simplify his life. How? By ensuring that you underline the keywords. Now, what are keywords? Example, small company definition. All right. Section 2, clause 85 defines the small company. All right. First thing. Second thing, turnover should not exceed 40 crores. Paid up capital should not exceed 4 crores. Underline these 6, 7 words and more than enough. The other person is just going to see. All right. And give you the marks accordingly. I hope I'm making it easier for each one of you. All right. Next one. 148 sections coming to your syllabus. Your syllabus is having 148 sections, and very simple. These 148 sections are divided into 10 chapters. All right. These 10 chapters are precisely what is there in your act as well, as per the Companies Act. Right now, I'm talking about company law. Okay. Now, chapter bifurcation. It is as per what is there as per your Companies Act. So it makes my life easier. Let's assume I don't know the section number. I know the chapter name. Right, the chapter name. I hope I'm making it easy for you. All right.
Yes,
I
sir.
hope you guys are making sense out of it. I don't
Yes.
know the section number, but I know the chapter name, right? As per the provisions of chapter so and so. All right. All the Companies Act of 2013 provides so and so. It's absolutely fine. All right. Now I'm talking about a scenario where you're not able to recall section numbers. I hope I'm clear. All right. Where you're able to recall section numbers, but until you have to read section numbers. Next, rules. Sir, wherever possible, please give reference to rules. Sections and rules goes hand in hand. We've seen multiple rules which are there as a part of your syllabus. Ensure that you write those rules as far as possible. Next, start with the pattern, manner of writing section. All right. How do you write section numbers? Section 14, subsection 1 of the Companies Act 2013. This is how you are going to write your section numbers. If you just write section 14 and come back home, will you get marks? If I am the evaluator, trust me, I will not give you marks. All right. Which acts, sir? Negotiable Instruments Act, General Clauses Act, Companies Act. Which act are you writing the section from? I hope I'm clear. All right. We'll take that extra 3 seconds, 4 seconds, but make it a point to write the act as well. I hope I'm clear. All right. Next. Other laws, important not to forget. I hope you remember the way we approached this entire subject was 3 chapters of company law, immediately switch to 1 chapter of other laws. 3 chapters of company law, immediately switch to the next chapter of other laws. The whole point is extremely important other laws are. All right. How much does it fetch in your examination? How much does it fetch in your examination?
40 marks.
40 marks.
Everyone is crystal clear, right? So if you can clear the entire paper itself, why not put extra efforts and ensure that if you read company law 1.5 times, you read this twice. I hope I'm clear, everyone. Understanding? Understanding?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Yes,
Next
sir.
one. Few case laws must be handy. Ensure that a few case laws are available to you. Am I audible?
Sir, it's
Am I audible?
breaking sometimes.
All right. Just allow me a second.
Yes, sir.
Just allow me a second. Is it better now?
Yes, sir. The
Is
voice.
it better now? Yes.
Yes, sir.
Audible?
Yes, sir.
Audible?
Yes, sir. Audible.
Yes, sir.
All right. Now, coming to the case laws. Sir, there are a few case laws which you might have come across in your study material. You might have come across in your CAPS material. It's better to know a few case laws as and when required, you can refer to them. All right. Where would you come across these case laws more? In your other laws. In Companies Act, you may not come across too many case laws, but you will come across case laws in other laws. All right. Maybe in General Clauses Act, maybe in interpretation of statute. Do you remember Mong Si Mong, Ong Tu Mong, all of
Yes,
those?
sir.
Do you
Yes,
remember?
sir.
Yes, sir.
Next, language. Companies Act says, a General Clauses Act tells it is not your relative who's talking to you. I hope you don't personify your acts in the examination. I hope I'm very clear. Do not use languages like says, tells, etc. Ensure that you use only two standard words: provides, states. Provides, states. Companies Act, Section 2, Clause 87 of the Companies Act 2013 provides the definition of subsidiary. All right. General Clauses Act states that so and so. We are not going to use loose language or inappropriate words like says, tells, provides, or rather something like a better word like provides and states can be used. I hope I'm clear. Understood? Can I proceed? Yes?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Questions. First problem which you are going to face in your examination is identifying questions, whether it is a direct question or whether it is a case study. If it is a direct question, you don't have to break your head. It would be simplified and provided in the question itself. State or write a note on subsidiary. Write a note on interpretation, principles of interpretation of statute. Write a short note on the definition of the word charges, whatever it is. Straight questions, please write straight to the point, giving reference to the section numbers, 4, 5 pointers. I hope I'm clear, everyone. Where will you spend time? Extra time goes in case studies. Extra time goes in case studies. Am I audible, Subiksha?
Yes, sir.
All right. Where will that extra time go? The extra time is going to be in case study. Case study, our format is pretty much simple. All right. Whenever there is a case study, we ensure that we write all the case studies in a particular pattern. What is the pattern? First, facts of the case. All right. Second, provision of law. All right. Third, you're going to write analysis. And the last one is going to be conclusion. The last one is going to be conclusion. I hope I'm clear, everyone. Understood?
Yes, sir.
Please stick to this format. Do you have an option? Answer is no. You have to stick to this format for every case study oriented question. Now, I'll tell you what happens is there is a possibility that writing the facts, if the question is out of syllabus, if the facts are inappropriate, just writing the facts in itself, you could get marks. You could get marks if it is an out of syllabus question or if the question is inappropriate. I hope I'm clear. All right. This is not what we are planning for. This is not what we are preparing for. But the whole point is to ensure that we write it in a particular format itself. Clear? Can I proceed?
Yes, sir.
Next point. Fresh page. Answer first question. Best question. I've already mentioned. The first question has to be the best question of yours. Sir, since they've given the question numbers, question 1A, 1B, 2A, 3A, do I have to follow the same number sequentially in my answer script? Answer is no. Nobody has that hard and fast rule. But however, ensure that mandatory question has to be answered whenever you want. Does not mean that it has to be the first, but ensure that you write the mandatory questions appropriately wherever required. I hope I'm clear. Understanding? Yes. Next point. Fresh page per policy. All right. Every answer has to be in a fresh page. So some space is left. I've just written 2 sentences. Is it okay to write it in a new page? Please write it in a new page. There's a possibility that the evaluator might not be able to trace which question you've written where if you write it in multiple pages, multiple things. To simplify your life, all right, just take a page. All right, here I write 1A. The next one, let's assume I've just written 2 sentences, 3 sentences. It's okay. Scratch this portion, go to 1B in the next page. Sir, where do we write the question number? It has to be right in the middle of the page. Left bottom, left top, right top, all that not required. It has to be in the middle of the page. Last 30 seconds left. Would you want to attempt a new question? Answer is no. Last 1 minute left. 30 seconds is also very less. All right, Darshan. Let's assume you're left with 1 minute. All right. Would you want to sit and write a new question? Please don't. There's a high possibility that in the hurry you might have written a wrong question number itself. In the garb of getting that 1 mark, you might end up losing 4 marks which you've already written. And which was to the point. To the point. Basic things which we will miss out. I hope I'm clear, everyone. And it's not something that I'm telling you out of blue, something new. You know it. You know it better than me. All right. In the garb of getting that 1 mark, and you're not even sure that 1 minute will fetch you 1 mark or not, I don't know. But that 1 minute can save my 4 marks which I've written. How? By just ensuring that you please flip through and ensure that you check the question number once appropriately. All right. Next. No point in now thinking this faculty asked us to do this, that, it's all done. Now, there's no point in doing something new. I might have asked you to read this material, that material, solve this question, solve that question, plethora of things we might have asked you. Can you do it in the next 24 hours? Answer is no. Should I attempt reading something new in the next 24 hours? Answer is no. Strictly no. You are going to spend time in only reading, revising something that you have read. Let's assume I've never read this chapter called as charges in my life. Neither during the preparation nor during the session. Never ever attended this guy's sessions. Should I read it in the next 24 hours? When you couldn't do something in the last 9 months, why do you think you will be able to do it in the next 9 hours? As simple as that. All right. Don't do the blunder of reading something new. My reason being, somewhere in case if you're not able to recall, it hits your confidence. All right. You will be down with your confidence. Extremely important. You might have invested this time. You could have invested your time in reading something which could have given you extra marks. I hope I'm clear, everyone. All right. Had it been BCom, I would have myself asked you to read something new, because out of 10 marks, even you would have been able to write 2 marks. You get that 2 marks extra only. This is not BCom. I hope I'm clear. All right. Last point. No superstition. All right. The lucky pen is not with you. The lucky lady is not with you. The lucky man is not with you. The person whom you see every day and go to the examination is not around. All that is nonsense. All right. Trust your efforts. If your efforts are worth getting you the sail through, you will get it. If you haven't put in efforts, next 24 hours, whatever best you can do to sail through, please do. That's it. All right. I'm not saying that you might not sail through because you have not put in efforts. You never know. The next 24 hours, what you do might still get you the marks that you need. I hope I'm clear, everyone. All right. Now, question comprises. Now we get on to the technicals. All right. The first 27 minutes that we have spent is just to ensure that you know the basic ground rule of attending this paper. Now we get on to the technical aspects of it. Sit straight, everyone, and let's get started. Already sleeping? I'm sure you might have woken up 2 o'clock, 1 o'clock, all of that. Another 33 minutes is what we spent together. Sit straight, everyone. All right. Question paper comprises of 2 parts. MCQ, 30 marks. Descriptive, 70 marks. Rangoli competition, who doesn't like? Please ensure that you read the question twice and get the 30 marks in your Rangoli competition. All right. SUPW, you remember school days? We are exactly doing that. But the only difference is this time you will have to read and do the Rangoli. Instead of just randomly doing the Rangoli, you have to read the Rangoli. Important thing. Case studies, MCQs is going to take a lot of your time. Why? They are going to ensure that the questions are elaborative, the questions are lengthy. That's how they will play with you guys. All right. Now, how do you dodge this? Read the last line first and then read the entire question. Something that we have done during the sessions as well. All right. Is it something new? Answer is no. This is something that we have done. We have practiced doing this in the sessions as well. Last sentence, when you read, all right, it gives you the flavor of the question. It gives you the topic. It gives you the context. Now you read the entire question peacefully. Wherever possible, use a pencil and draw the lines. Possible. If you think no evaluator is going to be strict, he's going to throw you out, don't do that. Last page, at least you make a passing reference, 3rd line, 4th point, or something of that sort, so that you have an eye on those marks. Understanding, everyone? MCQs, can I miss out? Answer is no. There's a high probability of still getting a right answer in a wrong thought, 25% each. How? 4 options. One has to be right. Probability of either of it being right is 25% each. As simple as that. All right. Don't miss out on this 30 marks. I know, guys, I might be illogical right now, but we just have 24 hours. And what is the best that we can do is something that we are exploring right now. I hope I'm clear, everyone. All right. Second, descriptive, 70 marks. All right. When do you attempt your MCQ? That is the first question that I have. All right. Please ensure. This is again something that Shetty sir might have already discussed. How do you attempt MCQs? When do you attempt MCQs? Nevertheless, I might give you some insight here. The first 1 hour that you write the best answers, best descriptive answers that you know. All right. Somewhere in the after 1 hour, put a hard stop after 1 hour. You might have finished 2 questions of 16 marks each or 10 marks each. Am I audible, everyone? Yes.
Yes.
Yes, sir.
Assume 16 marker or a 15 marker each. You might have finished 2 questions. You got a comfort that in the first hour, you've already sailed through with 30 marks. Now, after 1 hour, spend half an hour and get the rest of the 30 marks from your MCQ. Possible? 100% possible. 100% possible. 1 minute, 1 answer. 1 minute, 1 mark. You go overboard by another 5-10 minutes, it's absolutely fine. It's absolutely fine. All right. You spend another, say, instead of 30 minutes, you spend 45 minutes. Absolutely fine. You're getting 30 marks out of it. 1 hour 45 minutes. I've already written a paper of 60 marks. I am left with 1 hour 15 minutes for the rest of the 40 marks. Can I do so? 100% you can peacefully finish your paper. There will be no complaints that I was not able to complete the paper. I hope I'm clear. Everyone understanding? Yes. Next one. Take calculator. Sir, it's a law paper. Should I calculate? 2 plus 2 is a big question marks. Is a big question mark during examination. All right. Why take chance? Please carry the calculator. Somewhere they're asking how much is a public deposit that the company can accept, 20%, 25%. All those calculations will become a havoc if you don't carry your calculator. Don't take chance. Please carry. Please carry. All right. Next point. Maintain your speed. All of us do this mistake. We pick up the speed in the last 1 hour. What is the use? What is the use? All right. First 1 hour, whatever your speed is, that is something that is going to match throughout the paper. You are going to be there for the 3 hours and consistently writing in the same speed. I hope I'm clear, everyone. Understanding? Yes. Because I'm telling you, the blunder that each one of you might commit is writing the first answer so well that you end up spending 1.5 hours there. Possible? 100% possible. Thinking that I will get this extra 15 marks. I will get this 15 marks short. You have lost the entire paper. You've lost the entire game. Ensure you time your answers. Ensure that you write accordingly. I hope I'm clear, everyone. All right.
Yes, sir.
Next one. Read the question twice. Do not assume what the question could be. Please read the question twice. There is a high possibility that the question might ask something and you might interpret something in the first reading. It's okay worth spending that 30 seconds extra than spending entire 6 months. The last point, write the question numbers in the middle of the page, something that I've already mentioned. Let's get on to the technicals. All right, chapter wise now. Can I begin?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
All right.
Yes, sir.
The first chapter, preliminary, section 1 and 2 covered here. All right. If you see, spend time hardcore only on section 1. Why? Section 2 is definition. That's more like a dictionary for me. I will look at it later on. When, as and when I come across those words. That's how we've approached the paper as well. If you remember, that's how we have approached the entire paper while we were discussing. Understanding? Yes.
Yes,
So
sir.
section 1 is going to be important. There are a couple of amendments which have come in section 2. All right. One of the most important amendment is the small company definition. Trust me, you will find this small company somewhere or the other in your question paper. Why? First of all, it's an amendment. Second point, there's a change in the limit. What is the amendment? There's just a change in the limit. From 2 crores and 20 crores, they made it 4 crores and 40 crores. I hope I'm clear, everyone. Understood? Yes. Next part. Chapter 2, incorporation of company and matters incidental thereto. Here, what do we learn? We learn the entire chapter of how to go about with incorporating a company. All right. So what are you focusing on? Please note, I write extra focus point here. That means you're going to read the rest, but you're going to pay some extra efforts, extra focus while you're reading these points. It does not mean that you just read this and go back. All right. I hope I'm clear. OPC, extremely important topic. Why? Because the calculation of a resident. Who is a resident? How many, who can become a member of an OPC? Who can become a nominee of an OPC? All these things are going to be covered as a part of OPC. I hope I'm clear, everyone. All right. Now, guys, while I'm discussing these topics, there may be a possibility that you might not be able to recall. Don't panic. Relax. Then the whole intention of this exercise is so that you can plan your studies for the next 24 hours. I hope I'm clear. All right. Next, conversion of OPC. If I want to convert an OPC into LLP or rather into a private company or private company into OPC, possible, not possible, check all that. All right. And accordingly prepare. If the member falls below the minimum number, section 3A, all right. Severally liable. What is going to happen? Whoever is continuing 6 months, you have bring in the new member. If you don't bring in, what is going to happen? All this covered here. Expect a question, could be important. All right. Alteration of MOA and AOA. Change of address. One state to one state, another state, city to city, ROC to ROC, all of those points. All right. Within the city, what kind of resolution, which form, moment I talk about special resolution, form MJT 14 will follow. All that you have to remember. All right. Important. Next, conversion of companies. If I have to convert a company public to private, private to public, public to say OPC or Section 8 company, whatever it is, ensure that you look into this topic once. Important. Next, Conditions for commencement of business. If you remember, you can't, just because you've got a certificate of incorporation, you can't start your business. All right. There's a declaration which is required. There are 2 points which are to be given as a part of the declaration. One, whether you have a registered office or not. Second, very, very important, whether you got the money from the subscribers or not. Now, ensure that you spend some time on the commencement of business. Very important, illegal association. Section 464, if you remember. What is 464? You cannot have more than a specified number of members in your company. All right. Instead of company, in a form of entity. If you want to do a business with more than those number, you must do it in the form of company. No, sir, I don't want to do it. You cannot do that business itself. It is an illegal association. Understood? Next, labeling and naming. Section 12, subsection 3, extremely important when it comes to labeling and how you're going to name the company. All right. Next, coming to chapter 3. Prospectus and allotment of securities, section 23 to 41 and 42. Why have I kept 42 separately? Any help? Here, quick.
Private placement.
Private placement. All right. Section 42 is to do with the private placement and which is applicable to private companies as well. Not just public companies. It is applicable to private companies as well. Now, when it comes to this chapter, important thing that you will have to focus, matters covered in the prospectus. If you are lucky, they will ask you a simple question, types of prospectus. They'll ask you write a short note on shelf prospectus, write a short note on draft, red herring prospectus, all of those. All right. Next, variation in the terms of contract. I've raised money through an IPO. Now I want to change the object of the company. Can I do so? If yes, how? If not, dissenting shareholders should be given an exit offer, all of those points. All right. Next, commission for the subscription. In case if I want to hire somebody to come and sell or help me in public offer, how much is the commission that I can give? 2.5%, 5%, revolving somewhere around if it is debentures, whether it is shares, all of those points. Allotment. Very, very important. Private placement. Extremely important topic. Private placement. Why? Because this is the only way through which a private company can also raise money. Apart from their bonus issue, right issue, and all of that. Private placement is another mechanism. Remember, there is a calculation of 50 in one tranche, 200 multiple times. If you remember, there was some calculation that we have learned. You have time. Just ensure that you look through this. Chapter 4. Share capital and debentures, section 43 to 72. Achal.
Yes, sir.
There or almost there?
Yes.
All right. As long as you're there, then it's okay. Section 43 to section 72. Now, what is this? This is one of the chapters which is already being covered in accounts. Half of it you might have already covered in today's syllabus itself. In today's examination itself, you might have covered. Bonus issue, right issue. There might be some couple of things which you might have learned. All right. How an ESOP is given. What is an ESOP? To whom can it be given? All of those topics covered here. Next. Chapter 5. Acceptance of deposit by companies. Section 73 to 76A. Pay attention on the fact. Amounts not considered as deposit. First of all, definitions are important. Who is an eligible company to raise deposit? Not everybody can raise. All right. There is a criteria on your net worth and all of that. All right. So ensure that you check the eligibility. Limit. How much can I raise? Just because I'm eligible, can I raise any amount? Answer is no. You can raise only up to a limit. How much can I raise? Check for the limits. 20%, 10% if you're a government company, 35%, all that. You check. All right. Next. What cannot be considered as deposit? Extremely important. I am expecting a case study here. All right. What cannot become a deposit? If you remember, there were 13 categories. All right. 22 categories, if I'm not wrong, instead of 13. There were 22 categories, whatever it is. All right. You go check. Government companies, finance company, foreign institution, all of that. We have learned together. All right. So ensure that you spend some time in noting down the exceptions. Noting down the exceptions. I hope I'm clear, everyone. Next point. Registration of charges. Here, simple chapter. This is what are the types of charges? When does it crystallize? What is the procedure? Important thing. What will happen if I don't register? And what is constructive notice? Extra focus on repercussions or consequences of non-registration. And second point, constructive notice. What is that constructive notice? Whether charges are there. Practically, we have seen this. All right. On the MCA platform, I've shown it to you how charges are disclosed. If you remember the fact that we've discussed. Next point. Chapter 7, management and administration. Don't enter the examination hall if you have not read this chapter. Don't enter the examination hall if you have not read this chapter. All right. Management and administration. One of the most important chapters where we have seen what are the kinds of registers maintained. I want you to pay extra focus on foreign registers. All right. What are foreign registers? How is it to be maintained? When it should be brought back in India? What is a copy to be maintained? All that. Okay. And which form has to be filed with the registrar for a foreign register? Next one. Beneficial holding and SBO. Daud Ibrahim, partnership, all of those things that we have discussed. Do you remember the faculty at least?
Yes,
Yes,
sir.
sir.
All right.
Yes, sir.
Fine. Case studies in study material. Your study material has a couple of case studies only on your chapters on registers and members. All right. Ensure that you read those case studies. Very, very important. Very, very important case studies. Next, what is a notice? Shorter notice. When can a shorter notice be given? 21 clear days as a point. All right. Important. Next, explanatory statement. When an explanatory statement has to be given, we've seen one of the notices practically, if you remember, whenever there's a special resolution or whenever there's a special business. 100%, or rather, whenever there's a special business and whenever there is a special notice, 100% explanatory statement has to be given. I repeat, whenever there's a special business, whenever there's a special notice, explanatory statement has to be given. What it is in detail, please run through. Extremely important topic again. Next, quorum. What is the quorum? In case of private company, it is going to be 2. If it is a public company, depending on the total number of your members, 5, 10, 15, 5, 15, 30 is the criteria. All right. Next, proxy. Can I have proxy? If you remember an entire discussion of college life, how a proxy comes into picture, is it acceptable? How many people can be a part of it? Types of voting. Special focus on postal ballot. Special focus on postal ballot. Why? There are a few things which can be transacted only through postal ballot. All right, a list of items where the company will send the ballot paper to your house. You sit at your house itself and vote and send it back. Who's going to bear the cost of it? Company will bear it. Postal ballot, something that we have discussed.
Yes, sir.
Resolutions and meetings. Very, very important. 2 types of meeting. AGM, EGM. AGM, 2 types of business. Ordinary business, adda points. Anything other than ordinary business is special business, which is anything other than adda points. Anything which is discussed in the EGM, special business. Whenever there is a special business, always accompanied by your explanatory statement. Understood, everyone? Yes. Next point.
Yes, sir.
Matters for AGM and timeline for AGM. Within how many days your AGM has to be held? If you remember, within 6 months, time gap between 2 AGMs should not be more than 15 months, and all of those things. 1 AGM in every calendar year. All of those things that we have learned. All right. Ensure that you look into it. Coming to declaration and payment of dividend. 100% focus. Sources of dividend. What are the conditions for paying of dividend out of accumulated profits? What is the scenario? I don't have profits, but I want to declare dividend. Then I will be using my reserves. That is as good as using my strict tax pocket. Can I use it? If so, what are the conditions? If not, what are the conditions? All right. Next point. What is the difference between interim dividend, final dividend? Chart. If you remember, there was a chart in our SCAPS material also, which talks about the moment this is declared, it has to be sent to your scheduled bank. From scheduled bank, it will go to my unpaid dividend account. From unpaid dividend account, it will go to my IEPF. When will it go to my IEPF? All of you have to remember, along with the dividend amount, you will also transfer the shares of those people. Am I audible?
Yes, sir. Better
Am I
now.
audible?
Yes, sir.
Now we are audible.
Along with the dividend, even the shares of those people will be transferred if it is going for 7 consecutive years. Something that we have discussed. Understood? Next.
Yes, sir.
Chapter 9, Accounts of Companies, Section 128 to Section 138. Very, very important topics. Consolidated financial statements. CSR, internal audit applicability. ILCD 200, 150, 25 calculations. All right. Next. Board report. What all board report is going to include? Very, very important point is the DRS. All right. Which is your director's responsibility statement. Do you remember? All right. If not, you have time. Don't worry. Next one. Audit and auditors. Entire law portion of what has been taught by Siddharth sir. All right. Whatever has been spoken and discussed by Siddharth sir on audit and auditing, that entire syllabus which is pertaining to your sections, section 139 to section 148, important. You will have to go ahead and read that syllabus. Last point. All amendments in your RTP, important from exam perspective. Listen to me very carefully. There are a few COVID-related amendments in your RTP. Ensure that you have a passing reference of it. All right. Extra focus may be not required. Ensure that you read it once at least. All right. Because if they ask a question, you will be in a position to write. But is it extremely important given the fact that now it's been more than a year since we have sailed through COVID? May not be asked. May not be asked. Nevertheless, is it good to know? Please ensure that you read it once. You read it once. Okay. Because it's there as a part of your amendments. Special focus on CSR related amendments. There are plethora of amendments in your CSR. Ensure that you know those. Ensure that you know those. I hope I'm clear, everyone. Understood? Can I proceed?
Yes, sir.
Coming to your
Yes.
other laws. Other laws, 4 chiller topics. Indian Contract Act, 1872. Negotiable Instruments Act, 1881. General Clauses Act, 1897. And Interpretation of Statutes. Sleepy?
No, sir.
No, sir.
Off to the courage that you have. You can lie seeing into my eyes.
Sir,
All
we're
right.
not sleepy, sir.
I'm telling you, hats off to your courage. All right, let's get started now. Indian Contract Act, extremely important. Extra focus on what is indemnity, guarantor as a concept, if it ever existed.
Priority.
All right. Difference in indemnity and guarantee. Please expect a question. Please expect a question on indemnity and guarantee differences. Important from examination perspective. I hope I'm clear, everyone. All right.
Yes, sir.
Rights of surety, lost goods. In case if the goods are lost somewhere, if you're able to recall the picture, there was a in the bottom of the slide, there was a box which was lost and found. If you were able to learn, important from exam perspective. Important from exam perspective. All right. Types of lien. There's a particular lien, there's a general lien. Who can exercise a particular lien? Who can exercise a general lien? Important. Important. All right. Next, delegation and creation of sub-agent. Dad asked you to do something. You asked your sibling to do something. Is it acceptable? Answer is no. General piece of law, no. However, there's a Latin principle which says delegare potest non delegare. All right. Something that we have discussed. Ensure that you go through that. Could be important. Last thing, substituted agent. Please note, difference between sub-agent and substituted agent is important and critical. All right. This is on your Indian Contract Act. Coming to your Negotiable Instrument Act, 1881. 100% focus on holder in due course. It's the Abhimanyu. It is that supreme. It's that Superman. All right, if you remember. All right, it's that Spider-Man who pops up in our screen. If you are able to recall. Now, important from exam perspective, because the moment anything passes through my HIDC, it purges all the defects in the instrument. The language. All right. Next point. Classification of instrument. There could be a possibility of question on inchoate instrument, ambiguous instrument, inland instrument, foreign instrument. Ensure that you know the principles of it. All right. Next point. Conditional endorsement. Acceptance of the bill in fictitious name. Example, Ravan. All right. You've gone ahead and accepted a bill in the name of Ravana. Is it acceptable? Not acceptable? Whatever we've discussed. All right. Next thing. Material alteration. Important. Without the consent of the other parties, if I made any material changes, will be considered as material alteration. However, a few things are not going to be considered as material alteration. Example, crossing a check, all of those points that we've done. All right. Ensure that you know the exceptions to material alteration. Yes. Instrument without consideration. Is it a general piece of law? No. Extent, accommodation, all of those that we have discussed earlier. All right. Next thing. Penalties in case of dishonor. Am I audible?
Sir, not.
Yes.
Now, yes, sir.
Yes. All right. Penalties in case of bounce. Do you remember the language? Please do not use this language in examination. Check bouncing is not an acceptable language. Am I audible?
Yes,
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Yes. All right. There is no concept called as check bounce. Please do not use this in examination. Ensure that you stick to the language dishonor of the check for insufficiency of funds. Chapter 3, important. Again, General Clauses Act, 1897. Where are you going to focus upon? Vindhya on screen. Objective. What exactly is the objective of your General Clauses Act? Definitions. There are a few definitions. One of the most important definition is good faith. All right. Where we came across this mong si mong, ong pu mong, and all of those. All right. Just ensure that you go through what it is. Next, rules of construction. Are you going to read? Computation of time. Very, very important. From is not to be included. To is to be included. 30 days and all of those. Next, distance. How is it to be measured? Aerially is not the language used. Aerially is not the language used. If you remember, you've done this blunder during the session as well. It's on a horizontal plane. Are you able to recall the blunder that you did? At least. Next.
Yes, sir.
One mistake, one penalty. You cannot have two penalties. Very important. They often ask in examination, servicing by post. How do you service a post? In what format it has to be sent? How it should be sent? Something which is covered here. The last chapter, interpretation of statute. All right. Primary and secondary rules of construction. If you remember, we've seen legistum generis, what exactly is the construction, literalities, all of those topics that we've touched upon in case of primary rules. Secondary rules, there are three important types of secondary rules: non-sitter resources, contemporary exposition, and a couple of things that we've discussed around this. Do you remember? All right.
Yes, sir.
Next, interpretation, something we discussed. Internal aids. Of late, they have started asking, write a short note on preamble, write a short note on marginal notes, write a short note on the importance or relevance of subtitles or headings of a chapter. What is it? We've discussed this. All right. Now, this is precisely your syllabus from examination perspective. We have exactly 9 minutes. All right. What we do is, instead of taking any questions, I would go ahead and give you a couple of important topics apart from what you've already discussed or what we have already discussed. Your RTP, whatever RTP is there in your attempt, ensure that there shouldn't be even a single word which you might have missed out. Ensure that you know each and every word of your RTP. Understand? Yes?
Yes, sir.
Am I audible?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Great. Second thing, if you have already solved these earlier, ensure that,
Sir,
and if
sir.
you made a note of it, good. Audible?
Yes, sir. Better.
All right. Is it better now? Am I
Yes,
audible?
sir.
Yes,
Yes,
sir.
better now, sir.
Yes, sir.
RTP, ensure that please make it a point to read it once, 100% with extra focus, because there could be a question. There has to be a question from your RTP. If you have solved MTPs earlier, or mock test papers earlier, it is going to be a blessing in disguise, because there might be questions which might be picked up from there. If you have never solved, should you sit and solve that? Please, no. Now you don't do anything. All right. Something that you should have done earlier. If you couldn't do it, now you don't do it anything extra. All right. One important thing that I want you to focus is, this is going to be the last attempt of the old syllabus. So, to just give you a little bit of comfort, possibility could be in your favor. All right. There's a high possibility that paper scoring could be in your favor, because they don't want you to again sit and read something which you have never even come across. New syllabus, again, some new faculty will look into it, teach something new altogether, all that not required. You peacefully ensure that you give your next 20 hours, 15 hours, 16 hours, whatever it is, to clear the paper with the marks that you see. All right. Important thing, RTP, if time permits, to ensure that you read the RTP of the previous attempt. All right. Not just your RTP. Do read the RTP of your previous attempt. Sir, I've never read it. Don't do something new now. If you have read it, ensure that you spend extra half an hour in finishing your RTPs. You can expect questions from your RTPs. This RTP or the immediately preceding RTP. I hope I'm clear, everyone. Understood? Yes. Now, 2 hours or 3 hours before, I'm sure everybody would have made a list of the section numbers. All right. All the section titles. Maybe those 2 or 3 hours before examination, ensure you read the entire list once for all together. All right. Ensure that you know those section numbers at the tip of your tongue, because nothing can come beyond those sections. Nothing will be asked beyond those section numbers. I hope I'm clear, everyone. Understood? Yes. The last
Yes,
one. There's a possibility that you might not be able to finish the entire syllabus in the next 15, 16 hours. Let's be practical. All right. It's not a cakewalk. It is not a cakewalk to finish the entire syllabus, which we would have spent 6 months together. Stop going hard on yourself. If it is not possible, don't push yourself hard. But ensure, even if you're reading just 8 chapters, 10 chapters out of the 14 chapters that you've come across, those 10 have to be the best that you could have read. All right. You should not compromise on those 10 at least. You might not want to do that. Next, one last thing which I want to highlight is, please ensure average answers are better than one best answer.
sir.
Am I audible? Yes.
Sir,
Good.
after please ensure we couldn't hear.
Now, I didn't speak anything. Now is what I'm speaking. So listen to me. Okay. So please ensure 3 average answers are better than 1 best answer. I repeat, 3 average answers are better than 1 best answer. as far as possible, please apply this principle while you're writing your answers. There's a high possibility that you might want to sit and beautify one answer of 6 marker at the cost of not writing answers for another 12 marks. Don't do this blunder. Don't do this blunder. All right. I hope I'm pretty much clear about how you're going to attempt the paper. Anything else? Anything running in your mind you want to see a quick thought on? We have another 4 minutes and then I wrap up.
Sir, the subject
Anything?
can I ask?
Am I audible?
Yes, sir.
Am I audible?
Yes.
Good,
sir.
good.
Sir, I
Anything
just wanted to know 21 clear days calculation once again.
now? All right.
It is-
Very simple. 21 clear days. Those 21 days, the person should have the in his hand. So that means, sir, what about sending the courier? Excluded. Sir, what about the person receiving the courier? Excluded. Sir, what about the transit? Excluded. All right. You are going to ensure that the person, whoever is the recipient, has the notice in his hand for 21 days at least to decide if he wants to come and attend the lunch function that you've maintained for him. All right. Because after all, that's what is going to happen in India. Anything else?
That's it.
That's it. Good. Harshita, quick.
Sir, I have one other one. In bailment, whenever we
I'm so sorry, friends. I might not want to take technical questions because I'm sure others might get a little carried away with those questions. So what I would do is, maybe you might want to ask your questions, drop in a message or a mail. I will definitely reply to the earliest possible itself. Right? Nevertheless, since you're braced, let's wrap it up with that. Go ahead. Ask.
Yes, sir. So if there's a shopkeeper and he has a box and deposited some item in the box in the shopkeeper's place, but the key is with us. So does the shopkeeper have to look
It
after
is
the
not a
box?
bailment. It is not a bailment. Not a bailment. Because you are having the possession with you itself. It is
Because
just a
of it-
constructive. It is a constructive delivery which you've kept. It's the constructive. The whole thing is dependent on the key, right?
Yes, sir.
The whole thing is dependent on the key. So it is as good as you're having the possession. You haven't given it to anybody else.
Okay, sir.
All
Thanks.
right. I will not take any technical questions. My reason being, I can definitely answer all of it. The whole reason is I don't want anybody to get carried away with those questions because that will create a little bit of panic for others. All right. Because they might not have read this and suddenly you asking this question, they might start searching now. I don't want that to happen. Anything else? That's it. All right. 2 more minutes. Listen to me very peacefully. Next 16 hours, 14 hours. Just 14 hours that you, all right? Because this 14 hours, if you invest appropriately, you'll sail through the paper. I'm telling you, you will sail through the paper. All right. Sir, should I panic? My accounts paper was not good. Should I sit and calculate how much am I getting in today's paper? All that is not going to fetch you anything extra in law paper. I hope I'm clear. All right. You getting 50, 60, 100 on 100 in your accounts will have no bearing on your law paper. So why do you want to mess it up by comparing, by asking, by checking, doing all that? Sincere suggestion. Dump the paper right there after the examination so that you don't even have the paper to compare and check whether you've written it appropriately or not. I have due respect for all the emotions attached, all right? But I don't want to carry away the burden. I don't want to carry the burden home. That's the only objective that I'm thinking about, all right? Now, last thing. If you know it, you write the best that you can. If you don't know it, give yourself some time. You will be able to recall. This paper is a theoretical paper, so it will require your 100% throughout the 3 hours. All right. It will require your speed throughout the 3 hours. It can't be a scenario where you pick your speed in the last 1.5 hours because of the panic. If that is the scenario, you will be messing up your papers. Ensure you maintain the speed right from the first minute. A 4-marker question cannot be given more than 5 minutes. A 4-marker question cannot be given more than 5 minutes. I hope I am clear, everyone, because all that you have is 180 minutes. All right. Now, you know that when I say 5 minutes for a 4-marker, you will end up spending 6 minutes on it. Very obvious. All right. And every 6 minutes, every extra time will take you to 180 minutes by default. All right. Ensure that the amount of time that you spend for a 2-marker cannot be same as 4-marker. Ensure that you start trusting your efforts and please go accordingly. Okay. If your intuition says a particular topic is important, read it. If your intuition says that this could come, Mehul might not have referred it during the session, but this could come, you go ahead, you read it. All right. Ensure that you don't give up on your intuitions. Does not mean that you start reading something new. because your intuition says, because that is not intuition, that is foolishness. I hope I'm clear. All right. Very thin line of difference. If you don't mark it, then it is going to hamper your entire paper. Anything else? That's about it. Yes. I hope we've done justice to each other's time for an hour. All right. Have the best paper that you can when it comes to law. It is not a theory paper. It is one of the fun papers that you can just go with the thought. You will write whatever you know the best that you can. All right. I'm just going to enjoy the paper. I'm just going to jot down what I can. And it's just going to be another paper for me. I've been writing papers. I've been writing exams right from first standard. This is not new for me. All right. So why carry the extra pressure of ICAI giving a paper, nothing doing? It is just another paper. I go write that. Sit, full stop. On this note, I wrap up. Thank you so much. Good night, friends.
Thank you.
Thank
sir.
you, sir.
Thank you,
Thank you,
sir.
sir.
Thank you,
Others
sir.
don't need Shadi
you,
sir is
sir.
joining. Others don't need Shadi sir is joining. Relax for, except for Naman, everybody else relaxes for 3 minutes and then comes back. Okay.
All of your understanding? ಕೇಳಿಸ್ತಾ ಇದೆಯಲ್ಲ?
Yes,
Yes,
sir.
sir. Yes, sir.
Okay. So ಸುವ್ಯಕ್ತ ಮತ್ತೆ ಇವ್ರು